Hi everybody, Leslie here. I wanted to do a craft room tour for ages. To start off with, I'm just going to show you some photos to show you I didn't start off with a perfect room. So you're seeing pictures of how my craft room started out life. The blocked off window that goes through to my husband's office, which was another extra extension. My door didn't have a window in it, it just had a panel in it, which was actually broken on the outside. I had no ceiling. And there's a big gaping hole that is like an archway that goes through to the original single garage, and my office is an extension on the back of it that they just knocked through the wall of. And it has had a ceiling at one point, but it never had one when we moved in 14 years ago. It took me about 7 or 8 years to get around to actually converting this space into what I'd always intended it to be, my craft room, because I had really tiny children when we first moved in. So I did all the work on this myself. I put the ceiling up, I put a new wall up between my husband's office and my craft room. And the next set of photos, these are what it looked like when I first converted it. So I actually just hung a thermal curtain. So that grey curtain is a thermal curtain. I had a long, narrow craft desk, and all the furniture was already somewhere else around my house used for crafting and other things. But my desk was really too small and narrow. So I swapped things around a bit to give myself more space. Still was a problem. So I eventually, when I had an offcut from when I redid my kitchen, I got a much wider piece of work surface from my kitchen breakfast bar. And that's what my craft room looks like now, more or less, when it's tidy. What you're about to see isn't tidy. It's a real working craft room, it gets messy. So that is what it looks like, roughly speaking now, when it is cleaned and tidied, and you're about to see a full in-depth tour, warts and all, inside, most of the boxes, lots of drawers, so you'll see everything. So I thought I'd start outside. That's my back garden. That's the door to my husband's office. Ooh, you got a sneak peek. So the front half of this building is my garage, and then this is my craft room, and it's really cold outside, so I'm going inside. It's not much warmer in here, but as you can see, if you're in the UK, my craft room is roughly the size of a single garage. If I stand right in this corner, this is it. So I'm going to give you a pan round. I haven't got a steady cam, so hopefully I'm not so cold that I'm shivering. Okay. So I thought I would give you a warts and all tour. So I haven't been out here and tidied up since I made my last video where I was making all my Christmas tags for my furs. So this is the craftermath. This is the mess that gets left behind when I've been crafting, and I very often do a little craft room reset. Hopefully I'm not too wobbly. So I'm going to spin back round, show you the other side. Hopefully try not to go too fast. So this is the only window into my craft room, and as you can see, I have a delightful view onto the brick wall that is my house. But I wanted to show you, this is a little IKEA stick-on pot, and when all of my stamp chamois and cloths get dirty, I chuck them in there, and then they all go in at once and get washed. And this is where all of my stamps, dies, stencils, embossing folders, and hot foil plates are. So I've talked about how I organise things on my Airtable videos, and up here, this is all my big A4 stamp plates. Most of these are creative stamping. There are a few others in there. So if you're in the US, that's kind of US letter size, so full sheet of paper sized. And they're just in IKEA magazine. These aren't the solid ones, these are cardboard magazine racks. So they're all up there. And then I've got different sizes and kind of the Jennifer Maguire way of organising. I've got them in categories. So this is A6 cute and kids, words, sentiments, letters, frames, tags, unisex adult. I've got a whole section for Lavinia stamps and then background stamps. Similar in, these are close to like the 6x8, or in European sizes these are like A5 storage pockets, so this is bigger stamps. Again, I've got categories on laminated sheets, separating them. I've got a whole box that's Alter New because I've got tons of Alter New stamps, so that is all Alter New in that one. And then I've got a section for stamps by me because I've got quite a few, and again just sections with the laminated set sheets. So these ones are all the really small, you know, little tiny things like this, the A7 size. Coming down, again, this one is all Lily of the Valley, and there's my Gorgeous Girls, so there's different sizes in that, and that's because the whole box is Gorgeous Girls right down to wood mounted ones, even the one that my dog managed to get hold of and have a chew. So my English Springer Spaniel Ruby had a chew on that one, but fortunately she didn't damage the stamp, just the wooden block. Then this one, the label on it's wrong for some reason. This one is all my stencils all in together, so that's a recent one I got in the works. Then this one, this is all my embossing folders all in one box, and this one is all my hot foil plates. There's a few missing because there's a few on my desk at the moment. Oh, and I've got some baubles back there ready to be filled, and the gap there is because I've not tidied up, and that's this box here, which is my Christmas box. And I've got some little awkward spaces, so I just have some magazines and crepe paper stuffed in there, some pencils, and some of my old cross-stitch embroideries down the bottom there. So that's just because I've got an awkward, because this isn't like a double skin, it's like a garage, so I've got these awkward posts that stick out everywhere. Oh, be nice to Mummy's own craft room, my garden as well. So then carrying on this side, I've got a, it's not Kallax, it's the one that went before it. So this is ancient. This is IKEA. This has been in 4 different rooms in my house over the years, but it is a 5x5 IKEA cube unit. I keep mainly on the top shelves all my papers, so my AC card stock, that's all different ones, and hopefully you can see I've got it labelled just here. So I've got labels for what's on these shelves. So this is like watercolour paper and some glitter paper and vellums and acetates. Like I even save big flat pieces of acetate so I can reuse them in shaker cards. So that's all on there. And this is all sort of miscellany of things. But again, I've got little labels stuck to my shelves. So I've got solid colour, 12x12, mixed. But this is kind of oversized papers. And this one is all different things. So I've got white foam, and then this is all smooth heavyweight white paper or cardstock that I don't know what exactly it is. I'm pretty certain some of this is this Nina Classic Crest, but I got it off Facebook Marketplace in a huge job lot of things, so that's a guess. You can see some of it came with bits of damage, so these are the bits that I've shown on videos. I cut them up so that I don't use these edges, so I can get like a 6x6 card out of the middle, not using the edges, and then use the edges hiding in like my sliding puzzle cards and things. Then, oh, these units that are hidden in here, if I can find the link on Amazon, these are really cheap actually for what they are, and they're like an MDF, but they're only a thin one, but they're quite sturdy, and they just go together with elastic bands, and I got those on Amazon, and they fit perfectly, as you can see, in the IKEA cube units, and it gives you a long bit either in front or behind, so you can sit scraps. So I still occasionally leave my scraps sitting at the front, so I'll link those if I can find them. So again, in here I've got black cardstock, and then I've got some of the trays. So if you've got the Western boxes, they fit. So that's the box and the lid that I've got, so that I can have pearlescent card and things. I've got some inserts, but they fit on these little units as well. And randomly, I've got a dish of shells, you know, like you do, and my wax seals. That's all the wax seals I've got. And then this unit hidden in here, this one was a random one I got in Home Sense, which again, if you're in the US, I think it's the sister shop to TJ Maxx, so TK Maxx in the UK. So I think it might be Home Bargains in the US, but it's called Home Sense in the UK. So again, I've got labelled, this is my 300 GSM stamping card and my craft card and my watercolour card. And I keep the manufacturer, so I know that this is Crafter's Companion. So I've got the labels just slotted in down the side, so I know which ones they are if I do want to know. So this is the Crafter's Companion 300 GSM matte black. Warm Mushroom, I think that's Lime Tree Crafts Warm Mushroom. But yeah, I keep things like that in there. And then this one is one of the IKEA, the metal shelving inserts. And I tend to turn my shelves upside down so that I can have it like a drawer pull. And then I can see all the way to the bottom. Occasionally I've got it the right way up, but that's because the one underneath is full. So this is all adorable, scoreable, some old Craftwork cards stuff, Jelly Bean Crafts. It's all stuff that's not solid core, basically, other than the red and green at the bottom, which is solid core stuff. My candles, my iron, and these were IKEA inserts that were sort of they split this cube into 4, but I don't think they make those ones anymore. That's how long I've had this unit. And then, because I don't have great access, because I've got stuff stacked up, my top one up here, I just have some like pattern box, and then I have it set up to display some of the cards I've made. I was lucky enough to go to an Alter New class in the UK a few years ago before COVID, and those 4 cards I made at the Alter New class in the UK. So I've met Lydia and Tasneem, and yes, all the people at Alter New, I met them there. And oh, that one was made there as well. And this one is one of Erica, if you follow Erica Craft. That's one of her cards that she sent me when I bought some of her D-stash off her. This is one of mine, and this is one of mine as well. In this one, this is all my storage things. So that's where all my pockets and laminating pouches and things are. So it's not the most interesting. And then coming lower down, I've got, I can't really get in this, but because I've done a lot of craft fairs over the years, I've got old stock. I've got things for making more things like post-it notes and pens and canvases and frames. And the same in the lower ones down the bottom. I've got stock, Christmas stock, frames, jars, another one that says old stock hidden down there. I'm not going to pull all them out. I've got wool because I crochet as well. And the same down the bottom, it's things like Scrabble tiles. So I'm not going to show you all those individually, and I can't get in 2 because I've got a unit in front of them. So these ones again, this is one of the split into 4 ones, which is really handy. I've got some of these deep trays, scissors, and more like office stationery type stuff, staples. I have got, you know, coloured staples and things in there. This one's all like sticky ribbons. Some of those I must have had for getting on for 20 years. This one's all my sprays and like effect pastes and things. These are the ones that I was using in the video a few weeks ago. And I've got my great big Crocodile Big Bite that lives in there, and a heavy duty stapler. Then I have got my Real Memory Keepers, that's the little punch. And I have a practice piece for, you know, spacing. All my brads and eyelets, which I have been making a dent in, making spinning puzzle cards and twine. And there's another one that goes in there that's on my desk because that was my coloured twine that I was putting on my Christmas tags. This is all my glimmer hot foil. Can't get that out because that's in the way. Just slide that out of the way. So yeah, that's all my glimmer hot foil. And then there's a load of beads and findings in another one this size. These really nice long ones, these are like the fridge ones. So they came in a set with, I want to say, these ones and these ones. So they were a set of 3, which was a large, a medium and a small, and they're all really nice and long and deep. So they go all the way back. So they're really handy. And then I've got embroidery threads, because I do cross stitch on cards and stitching on cards. Then these are all my sparkle mediums, which I got on Facebook Marketplace, and I did a video about rescuing those because most of those were rock solid when I got them. Hiding underneath, this is my embossing flakes. So I've got a few different ones lurking under there. Some of them in bigger pots. So that's all my embossing flakes down there. And I'll just show you on my trolley because I'm stood next to it. This is mainly my alcohol markers. So down the bottom I've got my Alter New ones, and they're all in trays that I can lift out and use them in sets if I want to. These are old Trimcraft ones. That's all my pro markers, and at the top I've got some Sharpies and paint liner pens and other bits and bobs. And I don't really use these very well, these little hanging containers. I think some of these ones are IKEA ones hanging off here. The trolley is a Hobbycraft trolley, and I haven't got much in these boxes at the top. This is just some things I want to use. So I pulled out a load of butterfly things that I've got some ideas for, and some of the Gina K fancy foils that I've got. So that was all butterfly things. And in the top I do have my little round punches that I use for when I'm putting samples on the lids of things so that I know what it looks like. So I use it on like my embossing powders. I know you're going to ask, what on earth is my storage for my inks? And this is a one-off. I found this randomly in like an antiques barn, and the back of it had woodworm in it, and my dad replaced the back on it for me, and it just perfectly fits for distress pads in each little slot. So I have got all of the distress oxide colours. I've not got all of the original distress, and then I've got a few doubles, because these ones that are labelled differently, they came in a massive bundle of stamps that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. For £30 I must have had hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of stuff, so it's always worth keeping an eye on Facebook Marketplace. So the ones that haven't got my proper labels on all came in a massive bundle, so I was very pleased to get that one. And here I've got stacks of different drawers. This is mainly embellishments in this one, sequins, all that sort of thing. This is Christmas papers that I've got just so they're at hand, ready to use. That's all my 6x6 pads, and this container, believe it or not, was my husband's when he was a kid, and he used to have his Lego in it. So they're all in there because it's split down the middle, and it just fits 6x6 papers perfectly. These racks, when I bought these, I thought they were going to fit into my IKEA unit, and they didn't. So these are We Are Memory Keepers 12x12 paper holders, and I think they've changed the legs on them now so that they do fit. I'm not 100%, but these are too wide and don't fit in the cube units. I wish they did, but they don't, and they're expensive. So that's all my 12x12 pattern paper in those. This is my little giveaway bundle, so anyone who's been watching a while will know that I'm doing a giveaway when I get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and so far this is everything that I've got doubles of lurking. So here's a little sneak peek of what's going to be in that prize bundle. So lots of nice goodies there. The box underneath, that's got a lot of cards that I've made that my kids know they can come and take a thank you card or a birthday card or whatever out of that one. Then going down, I've got one of the wide IKEA Kallax drawer units, and this one is mainly my embellishments. So I have them labelled here on the handles so you can see. So I've got buttons, sequins, flowers. Again, collecting for 20 years, we build this stuff up, don't we? Again, embellishments, paper flowers, pins, bows, all sorts of bits in that one. And this is all kind of paper scraps, and again, my kids know they can go and pull anything they want out of here. They're getting a bit old for that now. Then this one, I don't recommend putting your punches in this one because the bottom of my drawer is bowing. So don't do this. These drawers are too wide to put this many punches in. Trust me, I know. Then this one's more like my watercolour. So I've got my gelatos and palettes and some watercolour paper pads, the Spectrum Noir ones. Gansai Tambay watercolours and some Winsor & Newton and Reeves watercolours. So just all watercolour and water-based. There's some sketching pencils in there as well. Oh, and my chalks, which these blending chalks I have had for years and years and years. I still do use them occasionally, so they're in there as well. Down the bottom, I have one that's kind of my vinyl. I don't do a lot with vinyl. I have done some iron-on stuff onto t-shirts and things with my kids, and it's some bits of random Christmas things. Here I've got one of the tall Kallax units, and the top drawer at the moment is dedicated to all the cards that I've made more recently. And actually this is one that's been sent and given back to me because it was one I gave to my husband. This is top secret. Let's not look in that one. This is the Christmas, and this is the sliding puzzle cards I've done, and there's some card blanks hiding down the back there. And then again, I've got them labelled here where they've got different things in. So this is my silver and gold speciality, so that's all my silver, and like my rainbow Marie. It's a nice hunky-dory one down the back. Again, silver and gold, and I've got some of the mattes as well. Foam sheets. So yeah, this is the stuff from when my kids were little that I saved and I used bits of. So that's all in there. Tags. This drawer is quite empty at the moment because they're all sat on my desk. So this is my tags drawer. This is where all my coloured card blanks are. So anything that's not a basic white card blank goes in this drawer. And then I've got aperture cards. That's my dehumidifier because it gets damp out here. This is a stack of boxes that is more or less empty that came from my late mother-in-law's stuff. So there's a few bits left that I need to go through. I've got a spare daylight lamp down there, which I sometimes use to light my videos. Then I've got a stack of drawers, which is sort of empty. Always nice to have some room to expand. So this side is one of my pegboard walls, and this is it's a 2x4. This is IKEA Kallax unit on its side. So I've got all drawers along the bottom, and I'm not going to open all those because they've just got my card blanks in. You can see there's labels on the top, hopefully. That's all my most used, mainly nesting shaped dies up on a board. That's just a magnet board up there. On my pegboards, I've got all sorts. I've got up here, that's my spare foam roll. That's pattern scissors, washi tapes. That's the stamping foam, perfect layers, corners, and the 6-2 corners. Don't use those as often as I should. Then on these little shelves, I've got little cheap pound shop. They're like the lipstick holders, the little acrylic ones, but they hold all of my stickles and other glitter glues, you know, distress stickles, the Dovecraft enamel dots, that holds them all upside down. I don't find the Nuvo ones need to be quite so much, so they're the right way up in there. And that's all of those, because I find if I put them in a drawer, I don't use them. Then I've got various glues and things. This again is glues and like the low tack tape. And that's my kids when they were little. They'll be very embarrassed that I've shown them that. So that's their school photos when they were little over a few different years. Then I've got some of my lesser used tools and glues. I have a shelf for all my tapes and foam pads, which gets messy, as you can see. Underneath these pots, I have the ones that slide in and out. And because they've got a lid that stays on the board, they're perfect for using as another little shelf. So I have some of my most used ink pads. So they're all there. And then I've got some blending brushes, the big ones that have their own like covers. And then my corner rounders are there. So they can all stay. And then in the little pots, I keep like extra cutouts of words and things. And again, my daughter knows she can just grab one of those and use anything that's in those. And this one's got pencil sharpeners and erasers. And that's got my spare craft blades and my little tiny attacher stapler. And then this is just all my blending brushes. And that spinny thing is just something I found in TK Maxx. And then this is where it's going to get messy. So this ends up being a bit of a dumping ground until I do a tidy up. So excuse my mess. So I've got like a letter holder that's got all my different sorts of plates from my different cutting machines. There's my Gemini. This is a stack of things which are new that I need to put away. Most of it's creative stamping and stuff that I got in the bags. I did a video of the haul that I got at the craft fair from the mystery bags. And then this is where my big shot sits. And I've got a candle, some scissors, and there's my perfect layers. They sit nicely on one of these long hooks with other things on as well. Then these inks, these storage units, these are all from Lasersmith in the UK. And I don't think I mentioned, I'm just going to wear as background, the other MDF ones, which is this one up here and this one, they are also from Lasersmith in the UK. So Lasersmith, they're definitely on Amazon and they have their own website, and they make MDF storage that's deliberately designed to fit in Kallax units. So they're the ones for 12 by 12 paper. And this one I've got sat that way, and this one's just rotated on the side. So those two are actually the same unit, just sitting different ways up. And these are also designed to fit in a Kallax unit. But if you put them in, you either need to hide something behind, or, you know, you waste all the space behind. So I've just got them sitting on top of my Kallax unit. So this is all my Catherine Pooler inks. And these ones are actually a different size one. These were designed to fit the distress inks, which obviously I've got over the other side on that wall. Down here in these slots, I've got usually all my cutters sitting there. Now my 18-year-old who's doing her art A-level has borrowed some of my trimmers. So usually in there is my big green Caterpillar, but it's missing. And my other cutter is on my desk. And then there's my Spellbinders hot foil. There's a couple of scoreboards hiding under that trimmer as well. And then this is the only other place that I have dies stored. So I've shown you my shelf that's got the vast majority of my stuff on, and then these are my die storage. So it's the same principle. They're all separated by little tags, and they're all in storage pockets, other than ones that I've not put in a storage pocket yet. So they're all in little storage pockets. So that's more like images, and then this one's more like cover dies and frames and borders, and these aren't actually completely full. So that's in there. And the reason I've got these ones here is because my die cut machine's here. There's all the word dies, so they live in this one. I've shown a full how to make this on a video. Have the die cut out the right way round on the front, and then on the back I've got the magnet that actually holds the die on. And then if I've got a die that's stored with a bigger stamp or die set, I just have a blank card with the image on it, and of course I can't find one. There's one. So this is a Stamps by Me one, but it's in a stamp and die set with like flowers and things, so it's blank, but if I'm just scanning through my words I can still see it cut out the right way round. This is all like post-it notes, post-it tape, sticky all over post-it notes and things. And then this is usually the tray to file things. So this lot really should be on this shelf in this tray. But I got a load of things from my late mother-in-law's stuff, and this is all her stuff waiting for me to sort it out and file it. And the only other thing that's on this shelf is my really big die sets that don't fit in any of my other storage. And then this is my large dies, so my Sizzix, all my big dies are in there. And then all my, like my alphabet dies and my bigger dies, like my Time for Tea designs, big long ones, things like that are in this one. And then this is one of my bits boxes. I've talked about bits boxes in videos, so this is all things that are made. Again, my kids are allowed to come and take pieces out of here if they want to, if they want backgrounds. Some of it's coloured images. This is one that I used on a sliding puzzle card that's been coloured in there for years. And yeah, there's all sorts in there. Then I've got heat-proof mats, silicone mats. That little slot there, that's where my little baby Spellbinder's Sapphire lives. So that's the embossing plates for it. Then hiding in that corner, this is a really old Muji CD storage rack. And I've got stuff like glue sticks and pens and pencils, wooden shapes. My photo printer's in there. And down the bottom, there's just some felt down the bottom. And I have a washing up bowl so that when I'm doing stenciling, because I've no tap in here, but there is a tap just on the wall outside my office door, so I can fill my old washing up bowl with water to chuck my stencils in so I can take them inside to wash. That's this wall. And I'm going to come back around and show you my desk, which is uber messy at the moment. So my desk is sitting on 2 Kallax drawer units. There's one there and one there. And that is all that's holding it up, believe it or not. This is a massive piece of offcut of kitchen work surface, which is why it's not finished on the end. So this is bare wood on the end. And this is what my breakfast bar in my kitchen is. And this was the only piece that we could get that would fit. And this was the piece that was left. And I fitted it all myself. So I saved the huge offcut, thinking that'll make a good craft desk. I used to have this craft room arranged a different way around. I'll put some photos of that in if I can find it. Yeah, it was the other way around, and I had a long, narrow desk, and it didn't really work, and I didn't like sitting out here. So I swapped it for kitchen work surface, and it works amazingly. So this is where I sit and film. So the cuttlebug and its plates and other things are just being used as a weight to hold. This is what I attach my phone to film. So I just film on my iPhone, which I can connect to my laptop, and that's how I film. So that's being used as a weight. So if I want to use my brother Scan and Cut, which is behind, I have to take all that down. And this is a shoe rack from IKEA. They don't make this one anymore, but it's perfect because it's like, it's metal and it's really, really strong. So I've got my brother Scan and Cut on it. I've got all the weight of my cuttlebug holding all that down. I've got my Sizzix Eclipse in the middle, and it's all away from the wall, so I can use my cutting machines so that there's space still to slide in, the mat to slide in and out. So I do use those sometimes, but I do have to dismantle my filming setup, and it gives me a slot underneath. So my little rubbish bin that I use and my little dishes and things, and all my power cables are coming up that side. So I've got my heat gun, my stamp chamois, my little weights. There's my little ink mat hiding under the stamps I was using. So everything you see there, that's the stuff that I grab, and all my lighting, that's all for filming, which obviously not everybody needs. And that's the Spectrum Noirs stacked up there, and that's in their trays. They were my daughter's Spectrum Noir pens. She got them for Christmas one year and she decided she didn't want them anymore, so they got rehomed out here. And that's my label machine for labelling all my supplies. And at the moment, messy craft desk. This is literally where I was stamping all those tags. I showed this on a video, this little tray set up so I can take things into the warm because it's freezing out here. This is all stuff that I've used recently in videos, just so that when I'm doing the notes on my videos, I can keep track of what I've used. So just to finish this wall off, I've just got a shelf here that I've got some of my old rubber stamps, and I've got them stood up there so that I can see them, because occasionally then I do reach for them and use them, but some of these are 20 years old. And this rack here, this is another Lasersmith one. This is all of my Ultinew ink cubes. So these little trays pull out. So this has got all my pinks on it. So this is all the Ultinew ink cubes, and they have little slots so they don't slide around. You can lift them out. So this is another Lasersmith one. I think they still do it. I'll link Lasersmith, and anything that I've got, I'll put it in the video description. And then these are all my scraps. So these are sort of glitter papers and things. And I've got one that's like black, white, brown craft, and that one. Then this is sort of the cold end of the rainbow. You can see the sort of rainbow colours. And this one is the warm end of the rainbow. So these are just in the sleeves, but they're open on two sides. So they're just in cheap paper sleeves. And again, these are just IKEA magazine racks. Then I've got my Wild Spider double-sided sticky on a giant roll up there. Kitchen roll, essential. I've got my Catherine Pooler spinny wheel things, you know, for colour matching. And again, some of my most used tools that I can reach here. So I can reach these ones without getting up. So I have some on my desk in that grey unit. That's the things that I have out on my desk pretty much all the time. And then some more of my most used tools. So I've got alcohol. This is an old glasses cleaner spray bottle, so it's a nice fine mist. This is just water in this one. And I do keep my Memento, Versafine and Versamark stacked here, but again, some of those are still on my desk. Then this is like a sticky cleanup tool thing. That's the cleanup tool for getting dried glue off things. Most people, I think, have got one of those. And then this is my stamp chamois. So this is just the IKEA pegboard container that slides in and out. These are perfect for stamp chamois because it doesn't seal. So it's not sealed, but it's sealed enough that it stays damp. So if you've used a stamp chamois, you know it's got to stay damp because it just goes solid otherwise. And yeah, that lives in there. And it doesn't dry out, but it also doesn't smell. It seems to breathe enough that it doesn't go smelly. The all-important tea ruler lives on this board. My ink swatch book, which I think I've shown in a video before, that's just the Jennifer Maguire way of doing it, but I am going to redo that after Christmas or once I've finished with Christmas crafts. Then sitting on this drawer unit here, my big guillotine, which is a really old Purple Cows one, lives on this unit, so I can turn in my chair on my desk just to use my great big guillotine to cut big things down. My stamp presses and my tags, these are still all set up in case I want to make some more tags before my next craft fair. So that's where my rubbish bin lives. So like I said, this is a huge piece of work surface, so I left space on that side to keep one for recycling, and there is another one at the back there that is for actual rubbish. And then down here at the moment, these are some of my Christmas dies that are in a different storage system. That's just an old art bin that's got magnetic sheets in it with some Christmas dies in it. My Christmas bits box, my glass mat, which isn't on my desk because I was doing stamping. Talked about that in my last video. My stamping mat, my scoreboard, some old tatty placemats which I use when I'm heat embossing and things that I saved, a different scoreboard. This one's a metric scoreboard, so it's got the marks for half of A4 and things like that on it. And then I thought I'd give you a little look in my drawers. So my top drawer should have my stamp platforms in. My Tim Holtz one is in there still set up for my tags. And I've got my other Misty's under there, my big one, and those ones should be in there really. So then I've got, it says cutting plates because I used to keep them in here, but it's kind of a catch-all drawer at the moment. It is kind of what it says. So I've got a Dymo labeler, sanding blocks, my fuse is in here, my We Are memory keepers, fuse is in there. I've got a rotary cutter in there. Now my big punches used to be in here and I moved them and I regret that. And I've got this amazing bubble wrap. Can you see it's heart-shaped? So that, I have a gel plate somewhere. And I've saved that bubble wrap to use on a gel plate, which I've not played with yet. So this says it's trimmers and press and seal. It is, but my punches, some of them have migrated into here because my other drawer, it was too heavy. So things like my tag punches are in here and some of my other like big border punches, but there are some trimmers and press and seal in there. And then down the bottom, it's all punch boards. And there are a few cutting mats buried at the bottom if I need a spare one. So that's all my We Are memory keepers. Punch boards are in that one. So in this one, I've got all my acrylic stamp blocks. So again, all in easy reach. This one is what it says. It's perfect pearls, some of my small ink pads, and like waxes and things. Some more of like my handcrafted stamps and things that you can, you know, handmade, made with love. My gloves, my hand crocheted in Hogwarts colours gloves. This is all my heat embossing powders. This is all my like foam ink blending tools. And then way down the bottom is, that's all my scrap copy paper. So when my printer prints out gobbledygook, it goes in there. And then just sort of cups and dishes for painting, and so all the paint water ones, and my Mod Podge is down there. This set of drawers here that also sits by my desk, this is where I'm putting things that I'm using at the moment. So when I've been doing spinning puzzle cards, that's all my templates. So this one is sort of an empty drawer and things come in and out of it depending what I'm doing. Same here, that was the Altenew class I did years ago. Can't part with the instructions for that, can we? Then I have a cleaning drawer, so I've got more of my dust buddy, so that's what was in the pot on the wall. These are from when my kids were babies. These are the Muslim squares I clean stamps with and things. You can see, look, they get stained. They do get used. And I've got a few wet wipes and candles in there as well. And then right down the bottom, I've got my melting pot, which I need to use more. Spare heating embossing tool. And I've got all the blades and accessories for my cutting machines in that one as well. The keen-eyed among you will have spotted that I own one of these amazing scrap boxes. This started out life in my dining room in the house that we lived in when my first daughter, who's 18, was born. So this is an original scrap box. So this came on a pallet from America to the UK. I don't utilise it now as it's intended. So this did have a drop-down desk. It closes up like all these fabulous scrap boxes that you see, or whatever. There's different brands around, I know. This is the original one. Because I have a craft room, and I'm lucky enough to have a craft room now, I don't really use it as intended. I never close it. It stores a lot of stuff, but I don't really think I utilise it to its best potential. And I am debating selling it. So if you're in the UK and you'd be prepared to come, we can flat pack it for you, I might sell it. So do let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in discussing with me. These two pieces, so this one and this one that's only just sticking out here in the corner, they're actually covering the opening that goes through into my garage. But I have all the fixtures and fittings to stick them back on the side. So these bits should be attached here and close into it. So I've got pens and paintbrushes and more pens just stuck on that. And the other one's just blocking the gap to keep it a bit warmer in here. But they do belong on here. And then I've got things like paints. I do book folding, so I've got all my books down the bottom. I've got all my old paper kits, so I've got craftwork card ones. I've got bunting and flower stems when I'm making things. I've got all my alphabets if I'm scrapbooking, all my MDF blanks. Forever Friends stuff, because I've got a fair bit of that, and Tatty Teddy. Now, these ones I do kind of use, so this is like my tracing paper and things, and all my double-sided sheets are in the bottom one, but this is obviously a different unit. These are like the 12 by 12 trays you can get. These are the ones that came with it. In these slots there are storage bits that fit in these slots, and I keep like my cutting mats from electronic cutting machines and things in there, balloon ribbon, you know, the things we collect. And then these are all my tri-blend markers. So I've got my Spectrum, my I always say tri-blends. These are just in pound shop wine racks. So they're all stored just sort of roughly by colour. And I've got some Sharpies and, you know, extra bits in there. I've got like Christmas pattern paper is in the top two. Then I've got like a mail theme section and stickers. Some of my gorgeous stuff, some of it's out over the other side of the room, more gorgeous stuff. Then I've got all my 8x8 and A5 pattern paper is in this one. And then this is some like decoupage sets. And then this is more A5 pattern paper that came with magazines, sorry, A4 pattern paper that came in magazines mainly. And then this is like small paper pads. So this is A6 paper pads, old adhesive die cuts with a view, some old craftwork cards, things. But it goes quite a long way back. So it does. So that's all my little tiny paper pads. And then down the bottom, I've got loads of like junk bits and pieces and storage and, you know, A5 envelopes. All that kind of stuff. Oh, more cutting boards that I use when I'm watercolouring and things. And then these little units, these are all the dividers for the little units. So they have like Velcro wing dividers, big rolls of tape, things like that. Then I do use these for ribbon reels. So these are all American Crafts ribbons. These ones are a miscellany of ribbons, twines, more ribbons. Most of those are American Crafts ones, not all, some are. Then I've got pigment inks, little ink pads, again pigment inks, random like markers and things that are really old, and down the bottom's just more like stationery stuff. Then up on the other side I do have my stamp cleaning stuff up here, peel off stickers, flock and double-sided stickers. This is all stickers. And I've got glitter, 2 boxes of glitter, a big and a little. Then similar to on the other side where I've got the ribbon, I've got twine. This is all pretty much saved twine off bags and things, so that's all recycled stuff. This is all ribbon scraps. Again, a lot of this is saved from packaging and things. Again, ribbon scraps, same thing. You know, so when clothes come wrapped with ribbons, like pyjama sets at Christmas, they go in here. Handles off really fancy bags go in there. So yeah, stickers. And then these ones are all like the packs of ribbons and felt. Then this is gems and pearls, so that's all my gems and pearls are in one. Again, more ribbon reels. Again, bigger ribbon scraps. So I've got a huge amount of ribbon. Then I have got a few that have got all my other wooden stamps in. So that's mainly like sentiments and alphabets on wooden stamps. Again, sentiments on these ones. There's another layer underneath. Then these are more like flower ones. So I've got an idea what I've got. And then these are kind of more like background stamps. And then I can't really get at them without moving the drawer unit, but I have got some foils and some other twines in there, like Angelina fibres, if anyone remembers those. And then I've got like old cables and stuff hidden down the bottom. And the empty ones actually, my bags and labels that I use when I'm doing craft fairs. I don't really make the best use of this unit. And you can see I've got all sorts. So there's my spare coffee papers. There they are, hiding up the top. And there's some like kits. Here, this is like some kits that I've not used. Like I've got a tea towel stamping kit I've not used yet. More books for my book folding. Big rolls of sugar paper. And this box up in the corner, that's all the cards that I've saved over the years. So things that I've made, sent to my own kids, or people have sent me. So that's all the ones I've saved. So it's a huge box. So yeah, that's pretty much my whole craft room. So if I stand at the door again, I'll try and do a gentle turn around. And I didn't tidy it up because I thought it's nice to see an actual working craft room, and that we don't all live in perfect tidy craft rooms. So that's what it looks like when I've actually been crafting. So obviously not everybody needs all this stuff. Oh, I've got didn't show my TV. I have a TV up on it's on a swing out arm. So I watch YouTube videos just like everybody else does while I'm crafting sometimes. I don't do it as much at the moment because I'm usually filming and talking to you. So I sometimes stick films on. So I do have a little TV out here. So there we go. So that's that wall with my Kallax drawers and all my ink pads. And then back round to my big 5x5 unit. Again, there's stuff stuffed up the top there. And all my old stock and things. And then, yeah, my shelf unit, which I think's just a home-based cheap one. That's got all my stamps on it. And stencils and embossing folders. And there we are, back round to my brick wall. And as you can see, it's gone dark while I was filming. So I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.